Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Layman Daily Show. Thank you all so much. Love you, appreciate you. How's everyone going today? Now, there's a lot of news to get through. Well, a bit of news. There's some Ada Wong news. Then there's some more fun news to get through. Okay? So I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about what's been going on with Lily Gao and the reaction from the audiences. Because some people aren't happy about what's going on with her voice acting. So let's get to it. Let's get the drop. Hope everyone's going well. Let's get to it. And let's talk about the news. All right. First and foremost, how is everyone going today? I can see the chat section. Some people have very strong opinions, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm here to talk about the news and my opinion on this, right? Because, yeah, ultimately, where do we start? Ultimately, Final Fantasy, I don't know why I said Final Fantasy. Resident Evil 4 came out last week. It's been a huge hit. A lot of people have absolutely loved it and called this the greatest remaster, a remake that we've ever seen. Having said that, there's been a lot of changes with this one, right? There's been a lot of changes in terms of Leon, how much screen time Lewis gets, and overall a lot of just kind of quality of life changes that people feel like kind of collectively this has been one of the greatest remakes that we've ever seen. Now, not everybody has loved some of the aspects of this game. So Lily Gao is the one that voiced Ada Wong in this particular Resident Evil. It's actually different to Resident Evil 2. So Jolene Anderson was the one that actually voiced Ada Wong in Resident Evil 2. Now here's the thing, right? They obviously changed. They wanted to make some changes to that. And when they did make those changes, some people really didn't like those changes. Resident Evil 4 Remake Ada Wong voice actor has been harassed. There's all the headlines. Resident Evil 4 Remake actor deactivates her Instagram comments after receiving thousands of critical messages. So let's go through some of those messages before I even get really into what I think of this. Some people said, "You ruined the remake." Another one said, "I feel like I just wasted my money buying the deluxe edition to get this voice actor to dub Ada." Another wrote, "Your voice acting was horrible in the Resident Evil 4 remake." Another added, "It sounded super stiff and there was nothing seductive about it. It didn't fit at all. Oh my friggin' god. I hope they don't hire you as Ada's voice actor for another game." So firstly, if someone doesn't like a particular voice actor's performance, that's okay, right? This is a creative process. Everyone is able to, play a game and experience it, and they're always going to be doing comparisons. It's not that people didn't like what she did. I think it's how people went about it. Firstly, going to her Instagram, just like bombing her Instagram with so many comments and making her feel like crap. Ultimately just trying to attack her and her ability as a voice actor. I think that's why a lot of people have said, whoa, this is a bit much, right? With any performance, there's creative license. And I think with this creative license, she's gone down an avenue that a lot of people didn't enjoy. And I remember when I first played Resident Evil 4 back in like 20 years ago, and then I played this one, I didn't even realize the major difference, right? Maybe I'm not like a hardcore Res 4 fan, but I still love Res 4, and I still think it's one of my favorite Res 4s, right? It's one of my favorite Resident Evils. But the way that people have gone about this, I think, is why there's so much discourse in terms of how to go about this. I would say that if you really don't like a particular performance, that's okay, But you got to remember, Capcom is the one is the one that's choosing these particular voice actors. So if you have problems, wouldn't it be better to firstly, communicate that to Capcom? That's what I would firstly say. Communicate this to Capcom, because they're the ones that are going to be, choosing these voice actors. She's going to walk into the audition room. She's going to give her take. And then once she gives her take, Capcom is going to say yay or nay. And they obviously said yay, and then she went with that vision that she originally presented, and she went along with that, and she went for that. Now, I personally, when I now look at comparisons, which we're about to do, I don't hate her performance. I understand where people are coming from in terms of it's not being super seductive and it doesn't have that kind of like flirtiness that Ada had in Resident Evil 2 and the original Resident Evil 4 before the remake, right? But let's listen to some of the comparisons. Now, someone actually dubbed her voice acting over the Resident Evil 4 remake. Have a listen.
Put your hands where I can see them.
You can stop right there, Leon.
Put them up now.
Wouldn't make me use this. Would you?
You wouldn't want to make me use this, would you, Leon? Not a bad move. Very smooth.
Not a bad move. Very smooth.
Oh, Leon. You know I don't kiss and tell.
Oh, Leon. You know I don't work and tell.
Everything will work out just fine. He's a good boy. Predictable.
Everything will work out just fine. He's a good boy. Predictable.
Looking for something?
Looking for something?
Don't think too hard, handsome. See you later.
Don't think too hard, handsome. See you later.
Nothing personal, Leon. Luis and I had an arrangement.
Nothing personal, Leon. Luis and I had an arrangement.
Okay, so you can see, right, there are differences there, of course. Of course. But again, it's not so much that people can not like a certain way that a voice actor does things. Number one, you can communicate that respectfully. And secondly, you've got to go to the source. The source is Capcom. Say to them, hey, I didn't love this. Didn't love this. Maybe next time, if you didn't like her, which I'm fine with her performance, right? If you didn't like it, there's ways in which you can communicate that, right? But it's been so bad for her that she's actually had to deactivate her Instagram account, and ultimately, just kind of like bunker down for a little while. But another thing I want to talk about is when it's a remake, it's very fundamentally different in terms of what they're going to be trying to do here with a remake. Now, we've seen all different types of remakes. We've seen Final Fantasy VII's remake, which is fundamentally different to the mechanics. And the story was also fundamentally different in terms of where it stopped, some of the choices it made. And this is also true for the remake of Resident Evil 4. I mean, this fundamentally changes Leon. They take away a lot of his one-liners. So the voice actor, although his voice, and a lot of people love what he did with his voice, the voice actor, he didn't get to play with a lot of those lines that people know and love from the original Resident Evil 4. Leon's character is different. He's just not as his energy is different. His vibe is different. Luis is different in this one too. He plays a more pivotal role. He's in the game for a lot longer too. So in that regard, there are a lot of story changes and kind of and character changes that are fundamentally different in this one. So I think creative license is part and parcel of any remake. When you're going to be doing some sort of remake, you're going to be taking those liberties and trying new things. Now, Lily Gao tried something. People didn't love it. And, there was a bit of a backlash, which is not great at all. And some people are saying her performance was fine. And some people are in the comment section right now are saying that her performance was terrible. Fair enough, right? You're entitled to your opinions. It's about how we kind of convey those opinions. And another thing, I guess, is, will she be back for another one? I think now that a lot of people have put Capcom in quite the corner, where they'll ultimately have to decide if they're going to set a precedent here, or if they are going to stick to their guns and move forward with this. I suspect that Capcom's probably going to stick to their guns with this, because they might think it's like bad for business if they go out and say, you know what, we're going to listen to how everyone's conducted themselves here, and we're going to allow a change here, right? So I actually think that fundamentally Capcom is in a corner. They can't just change willy-nilly now, and they can't say, oh, we changed because we wanted to, not because everyone else made huge headlines, and based on that we had to make some huge changes here. So I think that I do think that Lily Gao's probably here to stay. Again, I didn't mind her performance, but certainly some people didn't absolutely love it, right? But again, Leon's different. Luis's time in here is different. How much dialogue and time and where he finishes his story is also different. There's just things here that, you know, are fundamentally changed in the remake, and that's part of, I think, making a good remake. Making creative choices that are going to be fundamentally separating it from its original source, right? But I think it's also something else which is important to say is it's very different to like hate predatory gambling or crappy monetization or extremely buggy games. And a lot of the gaming community then is quite like very vocal about how much they've really hated something, right? Compared to a voice actor making creative choices. I think that's very different, right? So when we talk about games, you know, making bad choices and then people are really angry, I can understand when a game comes out like FIFA Ultimate Team and it's the most predatory, evil crap we've ever seen that preys on children and preys on people that are susceptible to like gambling mechanics, right? Or a game like Fallout 76 where you're like, hey, this game is going to be great, said Todd Howard. And then it comes out and it's an absolute buggy mess and it's a disaster, total disaster. You know, those are the things that are fundamentally different in terms of when it's not more acceptable to like attack people individually. I'm talking about speaking directly to the corporations, right? The faceless corporations. Then of course people are a little bit more justified in giving a very stern opinion. But again, when it comes to a particular voice actor, if you don't like her particular stuff, that's okay, right? It's just the way that we go about this and talk about it and get that message across. And secondly, it's really about communicating through the right channels, which in my opinion is Capcom. Capcom made the decision. They made the choice. They brought her on. She walked in with a certain vision into her audition and they took that on, you know? So what do you guys think? Let's open this up to the chat because the chat is going to be good on this one. Let's be respectful. Let's all chat in a respectful way, please. Okay. What have we got here? Her voice acting was horrible, but not worth attacking her. Sure. So there we go. Like, you didn't like her voice acting, fair enough, but we don't have to, you know, attack her personally. We can just say we didn't love it. We just can say we didn't love it. Although I didn't mind it, right? And in reality, she didn't have a huge role in this, right? She was, I mean, in the 15-hour game or whatever, you know, yeah, sure, there's maybe 7 or 8 cutscenes that include her. But all in all, I mean, this game is very much not centered around Ada Wong, you know? People telling you aren't good isn't harassment or attack me. Genuinely, the worst comment I have seen is someone telling her she's terrible. Well, I mean, I think the bombardment of her Instagram account was what is what a lot of media headlines are picking up. You know, when you're bombarded and you have to take all your posts down and you're really excited about doing some voiceover work, and then there's so many comments that are just being negative and attacking you personally, that's where I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can see what which isn't great. Another one saying, I think she did just fine. Bird up. Good to see you, my man. What else? Let me see what other comments we've got here. Blame the voice actor cast director. I agree. I think it's about, you know, looking at there's a long chain of command before you actually get someone on board. So I think that's what it's more about, you know, like there's so many people involved in picking a voice actor. It's not just the voice actor's choices. It's also going to be, hey, the Capcom, the director, the casting director, the many cogs in the wheel that I'm not really aware of, right? But there's a lot, right? There's a lot, like in any movie, right? There's so many people that get a particular actor part of the role, and there's also usually multiple audition processes too. And the problem is she didn't do the editing nor really the recording. I don't know what we're talking about here. She's basically the cashier check at the retailer. Okay. In terms of how kind of dull she sounds, is that what you mean? Well, some people have come out and said that her voice acting is her really trying to sound sad about what she has to do here, right? From Shill Up. Because as you go on in the further Resident Evils, you understand what she's doing and why she has to do what she has to do, right? So who knows? Lady Gao may have just read the source material and wanted to do something fundamentally different. What else? So, that was fun. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's gone now. And she did leave a one post up, which is... We're not going to go there. Okay, we're not going to go there. What's happening else in the world of news? Sup, Sam? Good to see you, my man. Thank you so much. God of War Christopher Judge calls for the end to console wars. All right. We love Christopher Judge. I'm not a fan of console wars. Okay, there's a lot of battling today. The whole news is about battling, actually. Jesus. All right. This is very adversarial news. All right. This is all about what you should be scared of. All right. Here we go. This is what he said.
Be easier on each other.
Be easier on each other.
Thank you to the fans. Be easier on each other. You have more in common than what separates you. No matter what platform you love, no matter what game you love, you're still part of the gaming community. And give each other a break.
Chris Judge. Isn't his voice just so sexy? I mean, can you imagine like being his son when you come home? Oh, hey dad, how you doing? Oh yeah, I had a good day today. Oh, that's good, son. How was your test? Oh, I got an F. Boy, leave my home. Can you imagine that? Far out. That'd be terrifying. That'd be absolutely terrifying if Chris Judge was angry with you. Chris Judge was angry with you, I would be absolutely terrified. I reckon. Oh my god. Oh hi son, you playing some games on PlayStation? Oh, you attacking some kids on Xbox? Leave my... Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. 38.5 million on its opening weekend. Man, that's huge actually. I didn't expect this to be going so well. I did see a lot of advertising for this. I could see that the advertising campaign was huge for this one. I didn't think I was going to see this, but maybe I will now. Maybe if I'm seeing relatively good things, right? And I just didn't think Dungeons and Dragons compared to like John Wick was going to outperform, but it did. It actually stole it away from John Wick. It actually beat John Wick, which got 28.2 million, where Honor Among Thieves got 38.5 million. So hey, you know what? I'm actually potentially going to see this. On a side note, I'm also seeing the Mario movie on Wednesday night, so I'll be doing a show on Thursday to talk about it, what I think about it. Very excited to see that. I'm seeing very good things about that particular movie. So hopefully it's really good. I mean, we need a good Mario movie because the one from the 90s or the 80s, the late 80s, I haven't watched it in decades. I got no idea now if that's good or not, but I have vague memories of it being scary and horrendous. I have to look at that stuff again. But that is probably the weirdest concept I've ever seen in gaming, that Mario movie from the 90s. All right. MCU Fantastic Four movie getting a rewrite from writer of Avatar, The Way of Water. I feel like, I know I've said this a million times now, I do feel like we're getting a bit over Marvel stuff. Just going to put it out there. Controversial topic again today. I am so over so much of the Marvel stuff. Aren't you guys? God, we've got like 400 movies of them now. It's been going for 20 years. Not that I'm saying that there's not a place for superhero movies. I just feel like they dish them out so much. There's the TV shows, there's the movies, and then Disney Plus. It all comes there, and you can. It's just so much, you know. Like I just need a break. I just need a break. Last movie I was really excited for was Avengers Endgame. Oh, okay. No Way Home. I was very excited for No Way Home, and that was fantastic. Loved it. Loved it. Resident Evil 4 launches. Now, this is actually comparing to other title launches of the Resident Evil remakes, as well as the latest titles. So how long it took to get to around 2 to 3 million. Village took 4 days to get to 3 million. Resident Evil 4 took 2 days to get to 3 million copies sold. That is a lot of copies, right? Resident Evil 2, 3 million. 3 million in a week, right? So that was like when they were starting the whole, let's try some remakes. Let's do it. Let's see how we go. And they did very well with Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 3, though, not so much. Not so much. Resident Evil 7, 2.5 million in 3 days, right? So this is just going strength to strength. Now, it's always been good, right? We've always loved Resident Evil. Of course, there's some moments along the way that people maybe didn't love all of them. But I fundamentally like pretty much everything I've played from Resident Evil. Resident Evil 3 Remake, when we reviewed it back in 2019 or whatever, sure, there were some problems there. It felt very kind of rushed, scaled back. And I think a separate developer, a separate studio actually did Resident Evil 3 Remake, and we can see. We can clearly see. Screw remakes, make new games. Nah, I like a good remake. I love a good nostalgia hit. It's nice. I actually don't mind them at all. Yeah, I think remakes are here to stay. And I'm actually... Superhero movies suck, someone says. Well, I don't know if I'd say suck. There was definitely a heyday. I think we're over the hill now. This is now... The Marvel movies are starting to feel like Captain America. He's ancient. Okay? They just need to stop. For a little bit at least. Just for a little bit. Like... Wouldn't it be nice to just sit down and go, oh my god, I'm so excited about this new Marvel movie. It's been so long. And 10 Australian dollars from a name I cannot read. It looks like it's the other way around. Tom Cruise. Oh, I see. Okay, it's the other way around. Very nice. The voice actor was okay, but as the risk of sounding like a lonely man, whoever modeled Ada deserves multiple raises. Then some gorgeous pixels. Much love from Brisbane. Love you too, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. Look, I'm not going to go there, but of course, some people are loving what she's looking like, and I'm going to go there. She's looking nice. That's me. Oh, man. Yes, look, she's definitely, let's be real, she's a 10. She's a turtle 10. Nothing like a bit of eye candy in a horror game. Zombie, ooh. Ada, ooh. Zombie, Ada, You know, nothing like that. Now, this looks pretty lit. Now, do you guys remember Temple Run when we were kids? I don't know how old you are. Some of you are my age, right? 21? No. I'm 32 now. I'm getting ancient. Oh, my God. This is a cool game when I first got like a phone that could run Temple Run, right? Now they've done it again in Unreal Engine. Let's have a look at this shit. And that's pretty much it. He's just running straight, right? I mean, not a great trailer, not a great showing. There's not much more to see than the first 10 seconds, right? I could just make you sit through the entire minute and 16. Kind of torture though, isn't it? But you know what? If that came out, I probably would boot it up if it was like $5.99. Why wouldn't you, right? It's good fun. It's good fun. Resident Evil 6 is top 3. I've actually never played Resident Evil 6. I've actually never played that. I really should. Now, we've been doing a segment recently with all the bugs from Last of Us PC port. New segment, mods. Oh yeah.
It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple.
We're not sick. We just want to go back to our swamp. We have a talking donkey. We're willing to trade.
Civilians in the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But...
How funny is that Shrek face?
Been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Move your hands, big.
Oh my god, baby.
I know, baby, I know.
I know, baby. You're like an onion. You've got layers. It's not ogre yet, baby. It's not ogre yet.
Listen to me. I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me.
You can't take this seriously with a Shrek head. All right? Because you know Shrek would just beat the shit out of that guy. He'll just bend the gun. Oh, that's great. I love mods. It's so good to see mods now in Last of Us Part 1. I mean, you know, if there was a fight between Abby and Ellie, we know who would win now. Because it's clearly going to be Ellie that beats the shit out of her. Alright? And then just like dunks her in the mud swamp. Actually, there is a bit of a muddy scene at the end. Let's not forget about that. In Last of Us Part 2. Spoiler alert. Clickers have layers. No, not Shrek. Anything but Shrek. Oh, how good. Another very important bit of information. Australian company unveils woolly mammoth DNA flesh meatball. Flesh meatball. So, in very important gaming news, because it's all about gaming news here, right? We're not going to cover things that have nothing to do with gaming. This just in, woolly mammoth meatball. So, an Australian company, of course it's us, right? We're the innovators of everything, from meat pies to shrimp on the barbie. They've made, with DNA, a flesh meatball out of woolly mammoth. So you can taste what a woolly mammoth would taste like. Now we can get in touch with our Neanderthal cousins. Yes. Yes. Now, Enter the Spiderverse, new trailer. Can't show it because it'll actually block it from like 95 countries around the world. So I can't even show it because 95% of my audience will not be able to watch this show. So I can't watch it with you, but check it out after the stream, of course. Don't you dare leave yet. Don't you dare. Now, this is mad. I don't understand what Casey Knight's stat. Okay, listen to this crowd, right?
I fired the employee immediately.
Did you?
My intern or my assistant's job every year around Christmas time, when I'd ship all my friends and loved one a new pen to tie off those lanyards. And the most important part about those lanyards is that the ends be burned. Otherwise, they'll fray. But I entrusted this individual. One year, I was at some friend's house, and they're like, I still have your pen. And it was frayed. And I was fucking devastated. I felt like such a fucking charlatan in that moment.
So, guys, I asked my assistant to send an envelope to a mate of mine. And when I saw the mate of mine later, he told me that it wasn't licked all the way. There was like a millimeter that, you know, was a little bit ticked up. I just felt like a charlatan. I mean, I just felt disgusting. I was it was just disgraceful. I fired that employee straight away. I fired them straight away. How dare they be part of my company if they're going to be leaving something frayed? I mean, come on, Casey. We love Casey, but what the hell is this? You guys lost his mind? Jesus, that's crazy. I asked my assistant for a soy latte, and they came back with a soy cappuccino. I had to let them go. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. You're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. Sorry. I asked them to pass me a piece of paper, and it dropped on the floor. It's been on the floor now. You serious? You expect to keep your job? You mad? Come on now. That's crazy. Casey. Breaking. Konami opens Osaka studio. Main game dev studio. Salary increases for all employees. Yeah, we do love that. We do love salary increases. But Konami isn't usually the good guy. What's going on here? Evil is afoot. Equipped for first-party game creation. R&D division opening in 2025. Now they're also hiring for a AAA horror game project. I wonder what that is. What does Konami do that's like horror? I don't know. Can't really tell. Comment section, help me out. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do here. Konami is the birthplace of evil. Sauron also works there. Mordor is where the head office is, but you know what? Let's see what they do. Bitspace has a bright future. Metascore is 89. I'm excited. This is just ultimately saying this has been such a huge success. Now, this came out a couple of weeks ago, right? I played this. I should have reviewed it But I wasn't doing YouTube again then. If only I was. Love that game. So good to see that. And I guess I wanted to include this to say that I think we are going to see a Dead Space 2. We did see recently, a couple of weeks ago, that EA was also sending out certain kind of form, kind of questionnaires to some people that have played saying, would you like to see a Dead Space 2? We're just asking, like, it's not like we want to make one or anything. So I think it's actually very much on the cards. Very excited to see what they do with that. Absolutely. The Steam Deck is here to stay. I haven't actually got a Steam Deck, right? I really want to get a Steam Deck. Do not have one. Like $1,000 in Australia. Though you got to ship them in, pain in the butt. But it's here to stay, clearly. And one is here. The next one is going to be years away in terms of the Steam 2 or whatever they're going to call it, the Steam Pro. So ultimately, this article is very short, but it ultimately says that we're expecting that the. Okay, I'll read it. How about I read it? Okay, Deck has the potential to be a solid target throughout the generation. But then they also go on to say, a true next-gen deck with a significant bump in horsepower wouldn't be for a few years. So look, I would say it's just started. It only got here a year ago. I don't think this is going to be an iterative thing where it just comes out every year with like small little bumps. It needs to like exist in the ecosystem. It has like 8,000 games, I should say, that you can actually currently play on the Steam Deck, including Elden Ring and Cyberpunk 2077. You can play Cyberpunk on this thing? I couldn't play Cyberpunk on my Xbox Series X. Xbox Series X, brought to you by Xbox. So I think that's kind of a given, right? I wasn't expecting a new one to be coming out next week or something. But like, I think this is going to be now like a console generation thing where it might take 6 years. Maybe not 6 years, but maybe like 4 to 5 years, right? They let the dust settle, they let them sell as much as they can, and they move on to the next one. You know? Summer Games Fest, this was funny. So the Summer Games Fest put up this, they're like, which summer games are you most anticipating? Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, Pikmin 4, Baldur's Gate 4. Baldur's Gate 4? Is that a leak, ladies and gentlemen? It's not a leak. They just misspelled. I'm excited for Pikmin 7, Diablo 14, and Final Fantasy 100. Are you guys? I certainly am. Baldur's Gate 3 comes out in August, apparently, so this still ain't in beta or whatever, but Summer Games Fest, oops. Maybe that was just them trying to get a little bit of, ooh, let's get people engaged. Micro gear transactions, that's probably going to happen with Konami, who knows, right? It's going to be very sad to see what they do. And last but not least, this is cinema. Who's excited for the Joker 2 with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix just walking around together? God, it's a bad joke, but we're keeping it in. I'm super excited. I loved what they did with the Joker 1. I'm excited to see what they do with this one, of course. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Bold choice to see how it is. I didn't mind what she's done. Last movie I think I saw with her was Star is Born. I didn't see the Gucci one. What was the Gucci one like? Please let me know. So that's kind of it, guys, for today. I want to do shorter shows so you guys can digest it a bit easier. Leave a like on the video so he keeps coming back. Like, subscribe, everybody, and thank you so much for the another super chat. Thank you so much. This channel makes me the opposite of flaccid. I don't know what that is. What's the opposite of flaccid? Comment section, help me out there. Help me get demonetized on this video. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the super chats as well, and I also appreciate the previous members of the last few shows. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I do enjoy doing this with you guys. So Final Fantasy 9000 plus looks amazing. I'm excited for that too. That's exactly what I want to see. I just want to see more Final Fantasies. I remember when I was in like year 7 in Australia, 7th grade. Final Fantasy 9 came out, I think. Or Final Fantasy 10 came out. Good times. Bring back Dark Alliance. You mean the one that was like isometric and it kind of looked like a Diablo game? You could play co-op? I love that, bro. I played that so much. That was actually one of my favorite things in the world. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you, appreciate you. I will see you guys next time. All the chats, it's been great today. You guys are great. Good respect for chat. I love you. All right. And again, thanks for the super chats. And thanks to everyone that supports the show. And I will see you guys next time with Layman, probably tomorrow. Layman out.